Pleased to be joined by head rodeo coach, South Plains College, Coach Kerry Doster joins us. And Coach just got back off another rodeo. Let's talk a little bit about how things went for you last time out.
Well, it went pretty good. Some of these freshmen I've got really kind of stepping up the plate and kind of, figuring out what it takes to win at these college rodeos, which that's pretty typical in this sport, in most sports, I guess, everywhere. That first year is kind of rough. They kind of go through a little learning curve, but, Laramie Wing, she really stepped up and had a pretty good rodeo. Another girl from Idaho, Kelly Kindick, they both placed second in their event in the first rounds. And Cardi was, I think, seventh in the barrel racing, and, long round went pretty good that way, and then short round kind of fell apart for him, but that's kind of, her horse. We had to hit a barrel in the barrel racing, and, so that kind of knocked her out of it. And then my other girls, I can't remember, they went up about fifth, right in the middle of the hunt there. So it was, I'd like to have done better, but I was pleased that they're kind of stepping up to the plate. So
talk about the freshmen, and athletics change as we work our way up. The speed of the game increases, but rodeo, you're talking about a lot stronger stock pool. You're talking about a lot narrower group of athletes because not everybody's going to come out of high school and go on to college and rodeo in college. So to see those freshmen catching up, it's got to be a pretty good sign for the program.
Yeah, it is. It gives me a lot of hope for next year. We've got a lot of kids coming in. These girls will step up and kind of be leaders next year for my girls team. And same for my men's team. I've got some guys that, of course, my top hands are injured. We've heard enough about that all year long. But I feel pretty confident they're going to step up. We'll have some good leaders here next year and to kind of help these new incoming freshmen kind of pick it up and kind of have our team do pretty good next year. So
you look at this season now, and you're starting to creep up on these national finals coming up here pretty shortly. How's your qualifying look?
That's the bad part of the Big Spring Rodeo. Ben Ramey, he came in, really took a good start at his steer, and Ty Willick missed the haze for him, so he didn't get to catch his steer, and it just broke my heart. But Ben he's good with it. He's still sitting there good. It didn't really hurt him. The guys that did get that rodeo were, way underneath him. Like, one of our guys wound up second steer wrestling, Blake Gagnon, which he's really stepping up, and so. But those guys that got the points in the Bulldog and weren't above Ben, so he's still 40 points out of it. He's got 310 points. The third place guy's got 350. At one rodeo, he can gather up 180 points if he wins it straight across. So Ben, he's been second at a couple of rodeos. He hadn't won a rodeo all year, and I'm going in there with the attitude he's going to win this rodeo, and that'll carry him on over to college finals.
That kind of comes to you're due kind of a deal. You're that good an athlete. He's a good bulldog.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to catch one. You're going to catch one clean, and you're going to make a good run out of it. And things are going to turn.
Oh yeah. And then that's what this kid. Talk about a kid that's dedicated to his sport. He thinks of it as his job. That's why he's been successful. He'll continue to be successful though.
Meanwhile, you get ready to go next rodeo. What's the next action look like?
Well, we're going, and we'll leave tomorrow, go to Tarleton. That'll be the last one. And we got Ben traded around to where he'll get the second run on the cattle. I got that taken care of yesterday morning, so I think that'll give him a little bit of advantage. It should. At least we'll see what he's running if he does. And he's good enough bulldogger that a lot of guys in these sports, there's a lot of guys out there that can win on the best stock you draw. If you get the really good one, you can maybe have a chance to win. But Ben, he's a good enough athlete and bulldog's well enough that he can win on a steer that may be middle of the road or even worse than that. So at least with him being set up on the second run of the cattle, we'll kind of know what we're going into, kind of a game plan, and hopefully that'll help carry him over. My girls have been roping good. I'd kind of like to win I'd like to win a men's team or a women's, women's team at this rodeo. My guys' team, I'm not saying we can't do it, but we are kind of hurt there injury-wise. But, JT Pettit, he's cast is off, and he's going to go both events full speed. He got on the other day with a cast on that didn't work out very good. But, so he's up to par, but we hadn't been able to practice. So
the good news is about a guy like JT Pettit is you've got that cast on, and you're itching enough to get back to it. You're willing to jump on and try it with a cast on. Yeah. At least you know the motivations. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, he's dedicated, and I just wish because there's going to be some. They're bringing some really ranked bulls and horses here, so we'll see what they get done. I foresee them not riding very many bulls in the long round or short round. I could see them maybe covering 3-4 bulls in the first round, maybe bucking them all off the short round of this rodeo. So it's going to be a tough bull ride, I think, this weekend.
Last night you had a chance to introduce your team to the South Plains College, and you bump into each other out of campus, but watching them line up there, good group of kids, and it had to be a lot of fun to just get up in front of everybody and say, look, these are the kids I'm dealing with. This is what they've done. Great banquet for you last night.
It was good, and got to honor some of the kids. Outstanding cowboy and cowgirl, Carly Richardson, and Ben Ramey, of course, the cowboy, and they both were the high academic from our rodeo team too. They're big. They take care of business, and then my upcoming freshman, Laramie Wing, which we just talked about her, and then JT Pettit, of course, So got to kind of show what what we've got. I've got a really good group of kids. I've really enjoyed working with some of them, and look forward to what we got coming into next year.
All right, Coach. Just seems out of time for this one. Any final thoughts for us before we wrap it up and get you packed up and head down to Tarleton?
Let's hopefully come back and we'll be talking about how good Ben Ramey this week. Get ready to go to the college finals.
We'll plan on it. We'll write it on the calendar right now.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.